I'd like to welcome everyone to the Monday, April 10th meeting of the Pine Bluffs Town Council. Will everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. On to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
Were there any changes to the rental policy for the community center, or is that mostly same as previous?
I think we got data on that, but it's not part of
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Was it an FYI? I think it was in our pack, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Somewhere.
a while ago.
Oh, that was like,
I feel like it was like
it was
less,
it was several months ago.
yeah.
But we will be reviewing our rental rates
That thing actually came up. Is that in this week's pack, though?
Oh, no, that's for
Okay.
that's her community center
I thought the
request form.
very same thing
Yeah.
when you mentioned that. I was confused, so it came
was-
up somewhere.
Sorry.
The other question I have is with regard to the WAM delegation. That's okay, so
No.
at the next,
It's fine with
at the
me.
next meeting,
Yeah.
and then are you familiar with, we will have to present an alternate at that meeting, or like
No.
after that meeting's over, then we just,
Until the next one comes up.
okay,
Yeah, you got time.
not me. That's the only question I had. All right, it's been, hearing no other discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. With no new business, we will move on to visitor comments. Can you come?
Amy
we-
Truba with Texas Trail Museum. We found out that we have to bring the toilet up to ADA compliance in the museum. How do I go about getting that with the city or the town? Because it is a town building.
Are you the main museum building?
Yes.
So, like, what scope is this project?
It's just a matter of replacing the toilet from a regular toilet that
Oh.
sits low to one that's raised
Okay.
up high.
You know, pardon me, but I'm not really familiar with our agreement. I know we do some of the stuff there. I don't know if this falls within the scope of what we do there.
Right, generally, we don't, unless it's work that our public works guys can do. I can check
Okay.
with them and see if they feel comfortable
Okay, yeah.
replacing that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
we just didn't know what the scope was or where we needed to go with it.
Right, yeah, so, generally tasks that can be completed by Public
Okay.
Works, they go over there and do it, and, I'm sure that one of them would be fine with replacing a toilet.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know what our financial
Yeah.
agreement was with.
Yeah,
the
I don't,
museum.
we don't either, that's why I'm coming.
Right, so generally, the museum takes care of like their own maintenance.
Okay.
And the only time that we've gotten involved is if it is something For instance, after the hailstorm,
Okay,
you know, we were involved in, because we
Because
insure
of
the
the
building
insurance.
and
Okay.
all that, so.
okay, all right.
Yeah, we worked with you guys on the deductible and getting contractors out there and all
Okay,
that
all right,
stuff.
that's,
Yep,
like I said, we have no idea
sure.
how
yeah.
we go about this. We do know
Well,
that it
what
is
I-
a city building, and
Yeah.
so we didn't know whether it was something that we needed to handle or,
Yeah, like I said, if it's something that Public Works can handle, we'll get them right
Okay.
on it.
okay, all right, okay. And then the vouchers for this next, you are
So you should have
emailing?
already received a check.
I did.
Okay,
We got,
great.
we got, yeah, three.
Okay.
Three.
Beautiful, so the two that were
Two,
behind,
yeah,
and then the one
yeah.
for this last
Okay, so
quarter.
then going forward, you
Yeah.
are gonna email those or?
Yep, I can email
Okay.
them or pop hard copies in the mail to you, whatever
All right,
works.
yeah, if you could email them, that would be awesome.
I can do that.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, I'm done.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know if that's like a round bowl or an elongated one?
It is a round one right now,
Okay,
but, and that was another thing because it's so close quartered. And somebody had built a ramp to go in there for like a wheelchair.
oh,
So we have that part of it, but they said it's not high enough.
okay. Well, we'll get
I'm
somebody
not,
to take a
I'm
look at
not
it.
trying, but I would ask you if, in a typical, this is not what it is, but in a typical triple net lease, that gets into that's a strange territory of whether that's part of the
Yeah,
general
see, that's where I was
building or
going with
whether
that.
that's an improvement to the building.
And I don't know that we actually, do we have a document for that building?
I'm not saying we do or
Yeah, I
don't, or
don't-
whether, I'm just saying as a reference tool to know.
For you guys that have been
I think
around
the
for a
issue
million
is
years?
that you get into, I mean, it may be spelled out in any given lease. The question would be whether it falls under plumbing, because normally interior plumbing is the responsibility of the landlord, because that's what makes the building habitable, and you have a covenant of habitability, but it can vary. But I think the problem here is code compliance.
Yes.
And that normally would be something that is part of the warranty of the lease. So when you rent it to somebody, you know, you're saying it does comply with the codes. And apparently, I don't know, who spotted that and decided it was out of whack?
Well, we have to replace the one over in the other building, not because of we actually didn't put the antifreeze in it like we were supposed to when the guys came out and unplugged it. So we have to replace that one because it broke and froze. And that's when this came up, because we have to replace it with an elongated, or with, not elongated, but taller toilet. And so I was like, well, what about the other one in the other building? And they're like, yeah, it should be replaced too.
Yeah,
So,
there are spatial requirements also that go with that, and a whole host of things. And
yeah,
I don't know to what extent we get into moving walls or,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
don't wanna
that's
go
what's
there.
bothersome to me about this project, and I guess my feeling is we should bring it back. I mean, obviously, this is no big deal, but if it was through misuse or something, like, I understand that, but,
Yeah, the other
This-
one in the other building, we're taking care of
Sure.
that because that.
and you have a
was-
contractor hired for that?
We actually are, one of the board members is going to do
Renee
it,
probably knows off the top of her head.
so.
So,
If I may, sir, as an ex-plumber that used to do this job, if it's in a public access place and it is owned by somebody, if it's in a public access place, it has to be handicap certified. You can't get around it, it's a state requirement, it's actually a national requirement. If it's designated as a public access, it has to be handicapped. And the lower toilets were not handicapped. So that's something for the city to look at.
so what do you think about this? If you have someone there installing the toilets, if you install 2 of them and we pay for the second one?
That
Just
you
for
would,
the actual toilet part?
We would be agreeable to that, yes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me a copy of the receipt.
I will.
Okay. Any other visitor comments? Not moving on to department reports. Jana? Bubba?
I have nothing.
Nothing new for me.
Wow, come on, Tom.
Let's see.
No, I don't want you to start making stuff up. That was a really bad idea.
No, I really have
Okay.
nothing.
Alex?
I'm good, nothing we can talk about.
All right. Austin? Anything to report as the new chief?
No, thank you for having me, and I just came to observe today, so.
Great.
Keep
Jackie?
down and more to go.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you here,
Thank you.
for sure.
I don't have anything. It's pretty much the usual stuff. It's getting busy, but just the usual.
I just have a couple of quick things. This Thursday, I believe we have another meeting for the playground, and we're gonna have to make a final decision on that fall zone material.
Do we have any
So-
direction at this point?
We're still waiting on final cost information, but they said they should have it by this week.
What time is that meeting?
9:30, I believe, 9 or 9:30, let me check real quick. And I will be leaving late tomorrow afternoon to head up to Casper for a certification thing on Wednesday. That's all day, so I won't be in the office on Wednesday. It's LPA certification. It's in order for us to be able to get federal grants through YDOT. And we need to start thinking about street names for the new development, particularly for streets that are in Phase 1. And we have to try to have that information back to our team by the end of this month. So my recommendation is that we come up with a theme, and a theme that could get us at least a dozen street names out of that.
Western Outlaws.
The Western Outlaws, okay.
Actually,
I like And there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I really
So
like
we'll-
that.
we'll have
I also
There you go,
think that
okay.
sort of plays into if you keep Whiskey Flats as the name of the development. I think that also
And we already
kind of
have a
ties into
Bourbon
that.
Street there.
There you
so-
go.
On
And
to something.
so,
Drunken Boulevard.
Hey, you got Peacock Drive, you know.
Drunken Boulevard.
so, just remember things that we come up with. Just imagine you living on that street and having that for your, the name of your
Well,
street.
instead of like, Butch Cassidy, you could do like his original name, like Roy Parker, so you like wouldn't know.
Oh,
There you go.
Sneaky.
That's the history teacher
Yep.
coming.
There you go.
Oh, tying it back into the earlier conversation.
So some suggestions that came so far are, to continue with some trees that are in Wyoming, like the cottonwood, aspen, willow, spruce, cedar, poplar.
I give that the thumbs down.
Birds for Wyoming, finch, swallow, chickadee, starling, things like that.
I feel like Alex set the bar really high.
I know.
He really did,
So
so
these
yeah,
other ideas, I'm not saying they're bad, but
sure.
not good.
But at any rate, if you could all think about that,
When do you need them by?
I need them before the end of the month,
I
so.
was gonna say, maybe we should have a contest, let the town people,
that'd be messed up.
but we don't have too much time left.
But I do think, I guess I wouldn't have thought of that, but you
Yeah.
need to maybe make it a
Cohesive.
cohesive
Sure.
genre or something.
Right. And then also to note, for Butler, when we move that railroad crossing, if you want to continue that as Butler or just give it a whole new name for the new development, we can do that as well. If we continue to call it Butler, it doesn't necessarily have to be North Butler or Butler North, as long as it has its own numbering convention. Unfortunately, we already started with the 100s on the south
Yeah.
side of
Yeah, I
I-30,
think it would
so
have to be North Butler.
it would have to in order, yeah, so that we
For the
don't get
numbers.
really wonky with numbers.
Correct.
I wouldn't, I'd change the name of it, right, Highway 30.
You could do that too.
Just change the number of the name of the street, right, at Highway 30.
Could. I will say, just as a general idea, that I'm fine with it being something else, but
Made.
do you know how many?
Changed from Butler to Made.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Got 2 main streets, yeah.
That meeting is 9 AM on Thursday, sorry about that. Yep,
I
sorry.
will say that I've been plenty of places trying to figure out where I'm going, and it's really aggravating when you're like, what? Why am I on a different street now, even though I went in a straight line?
Yeah.
But you are crossing a pretty noticeable landmark.
Couple of them include the railroad.
Yeah.
Right. We do have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow, or a pre-bid meeting rather, pre-construction for the Maple Street project. And then the bids for that are due in later this month. And we do have a little bit of a concern over at the senior center. And this is also an issue that is, we're gonna get a quote for the community center as well, but the rooftop units for heat and AC are starting to fail. We may possibly be able to get another season out of the senior center. But we did get the quote for those rooftop units, and it came in right at about $58,000. So, again, I know the senior center is a building that the town owns. The seniors are there, but I think we can work together to try and find a grant solution to assist with the cost of these rooftop units. Unfortunately, there is no grant solution to assist with the rooftop units at the community center. There is an energy lease program that comes out every year, that we might be able to get a very low to no interest loan out for those. But we can definitely,
The community center ones weren't replaced under renovation.
they were not. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some of them were, some of them weren't, but not the big expensive rooftop unit.
Okay.
So, at any rate, those aren't in as bad a condition as the one at the senior center. So probably before next winter, we need to look at replacing those. And that's all that I have.
I did think of one thing. This would be of interest to Kim. And you may already know this. It may not be breaking news. Our good friend Kenneth Gill resigned.
I saw that.
I saw that.
He did?
Went to the state.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Did you go to the Department of Revenue?
How far through his term was he?
He just started.
That's what I thought,
He
he
just
just ran
got
for
reelected.
re-election, right?
Yeah. Do you know what he's gonna be doing with the
This
Department of
morning.
Revenue?
Huh?
But I
I
can't.
just talked to him this morning.
Yeah. It was on
Hopefully it's
Facebook
not
that
property
he
taxes for
resigned.
our electric
Yeah, he was
department.
trying to get us to pay tax on that property that we bought up there.
Interesting.
So what's the,
But I said, no.
I know we can talk about this outside the meeting, I should just adjourn, but what's the remedy? A special election or
You know, we were talking
county
about
commissioner
that,
appointment?
and I think it's an appointment, because I think that's how, if I remember right, somebody disappeared and Ken got appointed to that when he started. I almost want to say the commissioners appoint to fulfill the remaining term.
Great. Anything else?
I need to correct myself. It was Robert Leroy Parker. I said it sounded wrong, and I was like, nope, can't let that go. I'm a teacher. If I'm wrong. So I got the last name wrong.
All right. Announcements, meetings?
Yes, so the next meeting will be April 26th. I guess
time is,
What day of the week is that?
what is a Wednesday, the last Wednesday?
Anytime after 4:30 should be okay.
4:30.
4:30, got it. Okay. 26th at 4:30. On April 24th at 5:30, we're gonna be doing a candidate forum right here in this room, for all of the town council candidates that are running. And the election will be May 2nd, and we're gonna hold that at the community center, but it will be in the lobby. It will not be in the gym because they're going to be painting it.
So April 24th at 5:30 was the candidate forum.
Candidate forum, yes. April 24th at 5:30,
And our next meeting is the 26th at 4:30.
yes.
Jackie, just one quick thing. I've had some questions about town cleanup day. Can you
April
remind us?
24th
Okay.
is when everybody should have their stuff out, and that's when the guys will start making their rounds. So that's the magical date.
Great.
There's also a Facebook post that's on our Facebook page that gives all the things that are allowed as far as cleanup goes. If you have like branches and things, they need to be in 4-foot bundles. Tires, you need to come to town hall and get tags for. They're $4 each. And then if you have anything that has Freon in it, requires a Freon tag, and you can get those at town hall as well.
Can we encourage residents that have, I'm trying to think of how to do this, that have numerous small items that they intend to do something with, that they can reach out to us before they move them out? We spend another hour picking them up off the street one by one. Like, I don't think it happens a lot, but I know sometimes we spend a tremendous amount of time at one residence that maybe if we used our bulk trash pickup service rather than
Right.
scooping it off the street later. I don't know. I don't know how we convey that to people, but
Maybe we just reach out to our frequent callers.
oh, sure.
I'm sure Renee knows who they are because she gets the calls, so. But I know what you mean. We have a handful of folks that, it's like every other week we're picking up stuff.
And just because today was a really nice day and we had a few people come in, remember that the burn pile is open 24/7 unless it starts getting abused, in which case it will start being locked again. But at this point, it is open. You do not need to stop and get a key, but only yard waste. Please do not leave lumber and things,
Furniture.
furniture.
All right.
One quick thing. The landfill is having on the 29th, a customer appreciation day. So that's a Saturday, and hopefully the town will be done by then. But it's hot dogs and chips and
Nice.
sodas and half off tipping fees that day, except for the town.
Great.
What time is that, Bubba?
It'll run all day,
All day?
yeah. So,
Good idea.
Good
idea.
yeah, we're thinking, trying to get things wrapped up.
Well, if nothing else, I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you, everyone.